Detroit City is the place to be. She wango and she tango. FSB Racing, Friday night, the Greg and Melty Show. This is NASCAR 2003 racing at Michigan, and we got a heck of a points battle here. And race 8 of 20. Mel Miller Jr., along with my cohort in crime, the voice of FSB Racing, Greg Bernardo.
What's up, Milty? What's up, everyone? How's it going? Yeah, we're at Michigan, Milty, on one of the original NASCAR Racing 2003 tracks that came with the original game. So this is a track that is demanding. It can wear tires out. It can uh, make you need to pit earlier than you need to, and that might cost you big time if we get green flag racing, Milty. And these kind of tracks in our history, Milty, we've seen a lot of green flag racing. So something to think about for the field. Looking at happy hour winding down here, there's that 27 car, and he's always fast, Milty, and that's Dan Irvine. And we're going to see if he can put together an entire race here.
Just like I told these boys in the meeting, we don't need anything over the top today. We got a good race car, we got a good driver, we got a good pit crew. All we got to do is just everybody carry their weight. We'll be just fine at the end of this thing. 10-4. See you, bud.
Drivers to your cars.
And FSB helicopter there, and you see that the 47 car, Josh Elliker,
On the pole, and you know when he show up, that's what he do. In top 3. Great qualifier.
Sean Reap on the outside pole, and Sean, this is another track here, Milty. I really like that front row's chances in the end.
The points leader by 2 points, and Ken Shea in P2 is not here tonight. So.
Another major point shakeup, it looks like, going to happen as the field rolls off of pit lane. So again, we got a front row there of Josh Elliker, Sean Reap, our second row. Is 27 car Dan Irvine, 59 Ryan Johnson. And Ryan had a pretty solid run there on the Tuesday night chicken run there, Milty, which is the same settings as this race, just shorter version of it. And if I memory serves correctly, I think that 47 car won that race, Milty. So just a little preview there for you.
Yeah, with the chicken run and this race, it's much like back in the beginning where you had the Pro Cup and the Sportsman Cup. And so Monday nights you would get the shorter version of what you were going to run Wednesday, which was the night of nights, you know.
Yeah, we got a pretty decent sized field here for Michigan. Looking in third row there, we see Jeff Hale. 72
the birthday
Isaac Johnson.
boy, 49 years old. He's going to be going. Man. He's going to be drinking a cup of coffee tomorrow morning, watching the broadcast. Going, he just let the cat out of the bag here as we get ready to go green.
And the 47 car going to lead him down. We'll get through the rest of this field as time goes on. And green flag is out. And
a bump.
Yeah, Jeff really.
The Miller cars bumping it up there.
Yeah, a little foamy there on the start for the Miller cars. They get underway. Looks like no harm, no foul. Remember, no passing to the backstretch here, Milty. So
really scary this first lap.
Nice and easy here. Get the car onto the backstretch. Let them all sort themselves out. You see Isaac looking racy here, passing Dad early. I think Dad's going to allow that to happen. If it was someone else, we may have seen maybe a little more protection there. But Isaac into the 5th position. Josh going to lead lap 1. 27 of Irvine in second, Milty, and he's moving up fast on that outside line. Now, tell me about Michigan, Milty. Can we do racing here.
Yeah, definitely at the beginning, if you catch the edge of that outside line like Sean Reap is doing, he gets a great run coming off the corner. It just depends how the car handles. Later in the run, you want to start to back off early and back up the car and take the lower line, in my experience.
Yeah, well, one thing we found out about that 27 car, Milty, is he likes to get to the front, and he likes to go to the front as fast as he can, and he's making that outside line really work for him early on here. He's taking a really high line into it there. That allows Jeff Hale to sneak into second place. Sean Reap on that lower line as well now, and all four cars there really tight together, and
wow.
Early racing.
They're not laying about. Let's go. This is really hard racing, but
side by side again.
It's how Michigan is.
So these Miller boys, you know, they may be sponsored by the same team, but I think the Miller boys have told them, look, man, have a, you know, drink a few beers after the race and call it good, but race hard when you're out there because, boy, they're going at it early on here in Michigan. Josh Elliker continues to lead, probably watching that in his mirror. Probably pretty entertaining sight for Josh to see there, Milty.
Yeah, well, if he's looking in that mirror too much, he's going to miss his marks.
Yeah,
all about focus here. And
in the second.
And Isaac pressing there, but they're all in line now. That's kind of what, you know, you want to... now you got the tire temps up, and everybody's kind of shucking and jiving there first, but now you want to work your competitor one at a time here.
And we see side by side Ryan in that 59 car, 43 Rick Bisconner on the outside 007, Dan Jones watching as an interested spectator there right behind. Now that inside line moving again. Draft does play a
I like that line. I like that line. I'm a bottom feeder, and that line Ryan's running, you back it off early. As long as you back it off early, you can save tires. And later in the run, that's where the outside guys are going to be hurting.
What a run. 27 Dan Irvine, 22 Sean Reap really got a nice run on that inside line, Milty. And now they're side by side. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the lead now. 27 going into the lead. Josh back to second. Jeff Hale, boy, they scramble coming off of that corner, Milty. They're really letting it all hang out early here. Very surprising racing going on right now here at Michigan. Not willing to get in line just yet.
Well, Dan, you know, last week, as soon as we talked about him, he won the car, but he's looking really like he's
a role here, Milty. Sorry about
that. Yep. And there they go.
Yeah, we saw Jeff just push Josh right back into the lead, followed him right through. Dan forced to just watch it happen, slotted into third. Sean Reap right there. Now Rick Bisconner coming up. He's up to fifth now, getting around Isaac in the 72 car, Milty. So Rick Bisconner moving up and getting around the kid. Now remember, the kid hasn't really got a lot of seat time lately here, Milty.
He's been busy.
That's been about it for him.
Yeah, he's been, you know, also go-karting.
Absolutely.
On Saturday nights.
But, you know, not a lot of seat time. Of course, two-time defending Pro Cup champion. So I think we have a caution out here. Pace car is out.
Pace car is out.
So we'll see what happened here.
I can tell you.
That's Dean. Well, that's Dean Gotro. Looks like he's retired, and the 25 is.
Slim has also retired, and I think Slim's jumped on.
Already out of the in-car center. That's
what the heck happened?
Wow. My engine blew up.
Oh my gosh.
Just no indication. Just let go, just like that.
Well, we'll have to take a look at that scattering there. Normally, the Slim Sim Racing Engines are tight like a tiger, but not tonight. She
Yeah,
done
so
blowed up.
taking a look at that, Milty. Yeah, just Slim going down into
Spinning
the
your own
corner.
oil there, yep.
Yeah, just going into the corner, minding his own business here, and looks like the engine just let go. Boom.
Yep, I was just getting ready to pass all those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Kablam!
Pops just sneaking by on the outside there.
Lucky they didn't spin on your oil there, big time.
Looks like everyone else somehow managed to get through there. And some good racing back to the line here. Jeff Hale, Josh Elliker. Jeff Hale just half a car length ahead of Josh there to take the caution.
And that's how racing is, man. I mean, you know.
Oh, and we got an incident on pit lane. It looks like.
Oh, we got the 27 around.
Yeah, the 27 went around there. Let's see what happened there. Action all over the place there in this first caution. Everything good going into the pits, Milty. We see all the cars getting their service. Oh, and it looked like he just spun the car, got onto the gas a little.
Yeah,
too
he
hard
did.
There.
Nice save, though.
Yeah, no wall hit.
Ton of track position lost there. So Slim, I mean, you were at the cusp there with no Kincaid tonight. You missed a race already, and but you were right in the points battle there. That's going to be a hard leg.
Yep, I was thinking that too. You know, Shay took a hit last week, and I took one this week, and I don't know if I missed one or not. I'm not sure I missed one. Seems like I made them all.
You know what? I'm so used to you missing them that I was just actually guessing. You know?
Me too.
So, you know, I have no data to support that fact.
It's probably one of my favorite tracks tonight. I hate a blue up on that track, you know.
Yeah,
well, because you're so good at being smooth, and then, you know, you're with this great field. You're expecting some green flag runs, and that stuff was going to come right near your wheelhouse, definitely.
Yep, win some, you lose some.
You've been lucky to follow you a couple times on some of these tracks, notably a truck race we had, but that was a different type of track. But wow, you know, just make one mistake.
I remember that. I do remember that.
I think,
Homestead, I believe.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Man, that was a long time ago, Bill. That was probably 09, 10, 11, somewhere in there.
Yeah, FSB has been around for 14 plus years and still going strong. And want to get in on some of this. This is what it's about. It's professional sim racing right here.
Yeah, absolutely. We see lights are still on the pace car. And also what we see there, Milty, is the 27 car did make it across the pit line, Milty, where they score the cars before the spin. So he was able to get going and retain his position, which appears to be second on this restart. So bullet dodged by the 27.
Well, Slim, throughout my career we talked, especially when you gave me some really good advice about pressing, and that's also something I've never forgot. And just seems like the 27 is pressing a little bit. You see the speed in him. Maybe he can get it together. He's qualified up front every race that he's run this year as a new guy to FSB.
Yeah, you know, he's got some skill. There's no doubt there, and I think he just needs to sit back and like I tell everybody, let the race come to you. Don't try to go get it. And I think maybe maybe at times he's trying a little too hard, and maybe he's his own worst enemy. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, well, I'm just talking from my experience because you took me aside and told me that, and within a short space there, I started getting better results. Funny how these guys are all good, uh, but just letting like you said, letting the race come to you is easier said than done.
The hardest thing to learn in racing is knowing when to and when not to. And
Absolutely, yeah.
even when sometimes you make the wrong choice.
Yeah, we could see Jeff really leading on the 27 car in this restart, Milty, and
Well, that's
27
what he
right on the
does.
bumper.
He is the best I've ever seen in cold tires, and he has no fear. He will drive it in there, but he'll make it stick.
And yeah, Jeff trying to maybe send a little message to the
He
27
does
may
that.
do that too. And
He does that in practice.
I think
He's like,
message
"You
received
remember who I am?"
I think he's saying it's his birthday. Move out of the way.
Yeah, the
and
49-year-old. Oh, he's gonna get me for that.
yeah, we got a real battle on our hands at the front here. 3 car, 29, 27, 47.
Oh, on the
And they
outside
are
of 27
fighting.
there.
And the
And
40,
Jeff's sticking in there too.
yeah,
He's just trying to get them a little flustered. Look at the car control with these pros. We get going here a little bit. Let's get some in car and see what these guys see here.
Yeah,
It's like, oh my gosh.
yeah, and they still haven't sorted themselves out at all at the front.
Oh!
And now Isaac and Dan Jones. Oh, and there's a contact between Isaac and 27 of Dan Irvine. And Ryan and 05 Ed Fowler also caught up in that. Looks like everyone did manage.
Father and son in the wreck together there, and Isaac is gone there.
And man, that was just.
He is retired.
That was just some extremely hard racing early on, and usually that doesn't end well for someone. And let's see what happened here. It looks like
Hey guys, I was just gonna let you know I'm out of here. You guys have a good
All
one.
right, Slim.
all right.
Get him next week, buddy.
And looking that over, Milty, it looks to me that the 72 may have just gotten into the back of the 27 there into the turn.
Yeah.
Just touched them enough that sent them into a spin, both cars into the wall. 72 hard into the wall, Milty. 27 not as much. 59 spinning. 05 hard into the wall as well. So we'll check on those cars. We know Isaac's out of the race. See
Oh, man.
continue.
Harsh for Dan Irvine. Not his fault, definitely there. From what we're seeing. That's racing.
And back to the front runners here. Josh Elliker, Jeff Hale coming down pit lane for fresh ones.
Your pick today was, well, we did it off air. We didn't have time, but it was the 47.
Yeah, these tracks are, man, he's so good at these tracks. Let me see, cars getting serviced and the race out. Looks like 47.
Well, as we're sitting here just chilling, it's, nobody showed up today. The helicopter flew in at the last minute, and it was that man.
Yeah.
In the 15 car, and he silently worked his way up to 7th place right here.
Yeah, he sure has. He's followed the 6 car. And,
the GOAT right there.
Looks like Mark may have gotten a penalty on pit lane. Looks like he's letting some guys by here. But Matt Watkins in that 15 car, there's not much more to say about him. He's definitely one of the best I've ever witnessed with my own eyes, and
The
I've seen a
winningest
lot
driver
of his
at
race.
FSB. Yeah, that's for sure.
I've seen a lot of races that Matt Watkins has been in, and I've seen a lot of those races finish with him winning. So, uh, you know, this is
Look,
Michigan. I
yep.
really think this is tailor made for a Matt Watkins. Slow move to the front and then keep his grip on the rest of the race. These yellows sometimes can throw wrenches though in those strategies, and I think maybe he's already shifted a strategy, Milty, and he said, "I'm going to go to the front now. We're only 16 laps into an 80-lap race here, but I think." He wants to now get into the front and now dictate pace.
I think he smells green here. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes these fields, it's
It
like,
smells like a skunk in
a
here.
lot of everyone's just, pumped up, ready to go, and come lap 1, you forget that it's lap 1, and then come lap 5, you think it's, lap 90. And after a few of these cautions, I think the rest of the guys are saying, okay, I just want to, run. I want to get a full run in. I want to see what these tires do. I want to get information now for the end of the race. And with these cautions, sometimes you don't get any feedback, Milty, and then you do get a long run, and you're kind of chasing the car or guessing.
Yeah, you're looking at 32 to 36 run. If 36 would be saving fuel big time, so we're not seeing that. Probably going to be somewhere around 30 to 32 laps on a run. So they're only 16 laps in here.
Yeah, we see the lights probably will be going off, so we'll be back to green flag, lap 17.
Well, this is always the hardest part is regathering and getting that focus and assimilating what you already have seen and your plus your experience and then getting to going here. Kind of smells like we could get a green flag run here. So right now, as far as strategy, you have to assume the worst, which is a full fuel run. So you got to take it easy on the tires here to start.
Yeah, and it looks like the 27 was also not able to continue, Milty, so he's out of the race. So a couple big accidents have claimed basically 5 cars involved in incidents already in 17 laps. So that's an eye opener as well for the field to see all these guys out of the race. So maybe opportunity for the points guys to take advantage of some of the others' misfortunes, Milty, and again focus on running the car and not fighting for each position.
Well, Dan had some bad luck, but made sure and posted before he went out. Good luck, everybody. Have fun and great sportsmanship. He's going to get
Yeah,
him some
he
there.
is. He is, and we've
That's
seen
what we're
this.
all about.
We've seen this time and time again, Milty. Guys that have the ability and don't get the finishes will eventually
It's
get the
hard.
finishes. And we
Winning
have seen
one of these
that.
races is extremely hard.
Josh Elliker, Jeff Hale, 1-2. Dan Jones now up to third. Matt Watkins all the way up to fourth. Sean Reed fifth. Pop sixth. So Matt Watkins and Pops starting in the back of this field have now worked their way up into the top 6. So nice runs by both of them. We see Matt Watkins immediately to the inside of Dan Jones looking to take that third position, and he will, and Pops loose. And Mark nowhere to go for the 6th car.
Those cold tires, you just can't get caught up in what everybody else is doing. You got to, oh man, that's hard. hard leg for the pops man there.
Yeah, and hopefully that uh, 6 car there isn't too badly damaged. You hit them right on the front end, Milty, and you know with these cars, they're very delicate.
Mark DeSiza doing, the starting the back strategy too. Starting to move up and just got caught up in the melee.
Yeah, I think he got black flagged on that last yellow pit stop, and now
Yeah,
it's put him back
and
there, Milty, and
yep.
now hopefully dealing with minimal damage. Field slows again, lap 19. Um,
Yeah, Pops definitely has serious damage there, so not good. Well, Watkins up to second, and that's exactly he's seeing the best place to be is up front, and I got to go. And
Yeah, now it's a battle of pit stops
what?
here, and we know Matt on
Is
yellow
anybody going to
flag.
take a chance? I don't think so.
Well,
It was only 3 laps here. What you going to do?
I might, if I'm in the back, if I'm 8th or 9th here, if I'm maybe Rick
2 laps? You
Piscano.
might have wanted to just stay
Yeah,
out.
well, or stay out, or looks like Matt Watkins with 2 tires. Then Matt Watkins will lead everyone off pit lane, Milty. So
I think that's a good choice right there.
and it looked like he was the only one
Only
to
a
do it,
few laps.
but it gave him that P1 position that I think he wants. And looks like 007 come out second, Sean Reed third, Jeff Hale fourth. So not the greatest stuff for Jeff. Josh all the way back to fifth. So Josh was our leader when we took that brief green flag, Milty, and now back to fifth. So he'll have to regroup. There's Rick in sixth. Mark coming out in seventh. So maybe maybe Mark was able to slow that car down enough.
Yeah, and he's right in the points mix here, so there's a long way to go.
Yeah, we're only on lap 20 of 80, so lots of racing to go. And it looks like some cars did stay out, Milty, and that's the 59, the 07. Of course, the light's still on, so they can duck down anytime they so choose and not, just have to go to the back of the
I would
line.
three
Will they stay out?
laps. I would stay out. Tosca topped off of that last run,
Yeah,
last pit
absolutely.
stop, so I would stay out. Ryan might have some damage. He did get a little door panel hit there, father and son contact.
Yeah,
That last wreck there.
Yeah, there was some contact there with Ryan. The car looks pretty good though, Milty, visually. That doesn't mean that it's 100% for Ryan behind the wheel though. But yeah, he's our leader under caution right now. Ken second, Matt Watkins third, 2 tires. Everyone else 4 tires. Dan Jones, Sean Reap, Jeff Hale, Josh Elliker, Rick Piscano.
This is how Kid
Second
Saska
and
won before, was being off sequence with the rest of the field. But yeah, he's got that. Oh, there goes that man behind me. 15. That does get your attention. Because you're thinking, what's he going to do?
yeah, if now that the field has kind of been trim, Milty, if I'm one of the cars that's kind of clean still, like if I'm Dan Jones or Sean Reap right now or Rick Piscano, I'm thinking this is a race I can win. a lot of guys that may have had something to say about it are out. Some guys have damage already, possibly. Matt Watkins is someone obviously you have to deal with if you're going to win a race when he's in it. So really, I'm trying to, not put my car in a bad position right now and try to, hope that this goes green and I can separate myself from maybe some of these cars that might have a little damage. We're going to find out going back to green here.
Quietly, the 62 is kind of chilled back there. The points leader, seeing all this stuff going down, and as an analytical, smart guy that Sean Reap is, he's not going to push the issue here.
And Josh Elliker down on the inside here. Looks like maybe letting everyone by, maybe a black flag for Josh Elliker in this last pits exchange. Looks like he's going to line up behind Pops now.
Yeah, nothing on the scanner, so. But definitely could have got an end along this line there.
So we'll watch the 59 and 07. Remember, they did not stop this last quick caution. Only a couple laps, as you said, Milty. So tires shouldn't be too hurt from that.
Another guy here that's looking to sneak up and get some points here and have a champion. Yes, the championship is 43 of Rick Piscar.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's stayed out of trouble for the most part tonight. And yeah,
the 59-year-old.
Remember, FSB rules, Milty, no passing to the backstretch. It looks like the 59 gets a little loose there. Had to run that thing all the way up the hill and right
that's
up against the wall.
That's where the men and the boys are separated, because what you want to do is arc the corners wide and let those tires warm up. Then the car starts to handle. But the problem is you got guys that are going to push that issue. So
yeah, Jeff Hale, Matt Watkins.
You want to push yourself.
Right here. And Matt Watkins giving up the third position. Sean Reap trying to get under Matt as well. But not just yet. Matt Watkins holds off that charge. Now Jeff Hale into second, Ken up high, giving some ground. Ryan continues to hold the lead though, so Ryan's car not doing so bad so far.
Yeah, only 3 laps on those tires. They just got warm, and you can see by the better restart he got than everybody else.
And Jeff Hale though looking to get back into the lead here. He's looking on the outside. Ryan protecting that inside, but Jeff said, "Fine, I'll try the outside then." Matt Watkins in third, Sean Reap fourth. Mark DeSenza on the charge. He's up to fifth. Remember, just involved with Pops in that latest incident. And
look at Sean Reap inches away from Matt Watkins.
Really pushing. The draft does play a factor here, Milty. We've seen it many times. 2 cars really pushing around one car. And we see Jeff Hale now into
these guys are doing it on feel. I mean, you really have no markers or anything. You just kind of time it out in your head as you go through turn 2 and going down the straightaway. Bada bing, bada bing, bada bing. Okay, I gotta let it off. His vision is. Let's go in car here, Greg.
Yeah, let's go in car with 62 car here, Milty, as he's looking at Matt Watkins.
Sean Reap, your points leader. This is what he sees.
Merging into fourth as well.
You see that draft close up? Just a slight lift there.
Oh,
And then back on the throttle. Looking underneath.
Got a great run there on that draft, Milty, didn't he?
That's all you see. Your spotter's telling you outside, outside, outside. Look in your mirror. Outside, clear.
So Sean with a great run right around Matt Watkins and into second position. Jeff Hale, our leader, looking in front of him. Now let's see what Matt Watkins has to say about that pass.
Oh, well, you know, if you smell green, it looks green. It might be green. So maybe this time you back off and safe. These guys are managing their tire temperatures.
Sean are
Down
really
on the
coming to
apron.
life. And the caution is out.
I think he was starting to put a hurt on. A look at the 29 Jeff Hale there. Now what you gonna do? Watkins did too last time. Several cars did too. Kinsoska down pit road.
Yeah, look like
That's a
Ken.
closed pits right there. So
Let's see what happened here between Ken and Dan Jones. Looks like two cars in the same space there, Milty. Kind of went in. Dan just on the quarter panel of Ken there. And Ken, I don't know if he thought he was clear there, but he came down. Really had barely enough space maybe to fit in there, but just some contact between him and the 007, which
yeah, that's
Ken
the
into the
spot where you
wall
probably
pretty
want to
hard.
back off and.
And
You know,
Dan-
Ken's already committed to the corner there. He really has nothing he can do. His line was set from the entry to the corner.
yeah,
But but, you know, at the same time, you know, Dan's momentum was already set too. So, racing incident right there.
as we're back live, lap 30 of 80, under caution. There's Matt Watkins getting his service. Looks like 4 tires now this time for Matt Watkins.
Yeah. I think all these guys are going to go for it now. You know, he took a little gamble there, which wasn't much of a gamble.
Oh, and looks like
Oh,
the
Sean
62.
Reed spins it
Looks like he again did cross the line first though. So we'll have
into the wall and spins the tires again. Talking 700 horsepower here, folks. When you press on that gas, it ain't no joke.
yeah, that's
That's very uncharacteristic for the 62 team.
yeah, and he's about the third car or so, Milty, that we've seen that happen to. Unfortunately,
Well, you want to
the
get out
camera
fast,
angles are
but
not friendly here for pit lane.
once that thing kicks up into the rev band, you got a short shift, you know.
Yeah, we see Sean coming out of pit lane there, Milty, and I guess just too hard on the gas. We see the black marks there. From the tires
Easy to
lighting
say
up
here.
there. And around he went.
Well, he was thinking, you know, I want
Nope.
this spot. You
Did
know,
not-
he was not laying about.
Did not get into the wall though, so that's a good thing.
Okay. Yep.
And did manage to get going. I think he did hold his position as well, so we'll check what that is. I believe third, so he was able to hold on to his third position there as well. So Josh Elliker, Jeff Hale, Sean Reap, Matt Watkins, and Mark DeCenza are our top 5.
Yeah, we got Wild Bill in the house there watching live on Gerber TV. What's up, Bill? Don Elker, your leader, still solid as a rock. When he's up in front like this, and he's very hard to beat. Well, I mean, you know, in NASCAR 2003, you're the driver and the crew chief. So what you gonna do now? You got to do the math.
Yeah, now obviously, and you can see cars diving down pit lane here. Sean Reap electing not to pit. The rest of the front runners have shot into the pits here, Milty. A little gamesmanship going on here.
They're topping off.
62 said, okay, I'll lead laps instead.
I'm still trying to see the logic in that. Reap clutching. You can see he's shutting the motor off. In car with the 62 still, and he is definitely shutting that motor off. You know, when you're a driver, you're driving. You know, your end result is the result of your driving and your pit crew skills. You know, and that's you. You got to figure it out and be able to do that on the fly. And we're seeing that from the 62. Wild Bill, of course, is anytime winner here, Bill Yarborough. And, you know, his response to my chat there was just do what Matt does. So glad Bill's watching live. And
oh, absolutely, Bill. And glad you can join us. And we're getting ready to go back green here. Beginning of lap 33 of 80. So closing in on the halfway point.
I hope to see Bill on the track soon. He's working his ass off, you know, like we all have to do.
And we see pops up the second here, Milty, with I'm sure a hurt car. So we'll see how that transpires. Rick Bisconner third, Josh Elliker fourth, Matt Watkins fifth.
And Matt's right there. He knows that. Guys are all really good here. It's still the same thing. Let them tires warm up a little bit. But they're not. They're putting on a show. And Sean Reap has said, exit stage left. I'm gone.
He's trying, but these cars are reeling him right back in, Milty.
Well, that's the draft. So, I mean, there's no benefit to really pushing hard. He knows that better than anybody. So, I think he's just got a really good start. And he's okay with reeling it back. Just a lap and a half there. He knows exactly what he's doing.
See Rick Bisconner, Matt Watkins on the outside, Josh Elliker on the inside, Jeff Hale, Mark DeCenza all right there. And boy, they've been
so Mark's car is obviously still good. Just a little bit of cosmetic for that D Rocket in the 6. That guy is a world champion there. He definitely knows what to do.
Sean continues to lead. Rick in second. Matt third. Josh holding in fourth there. Then Mark DeCenza, Jeff Hale developing a little side-by-side action, but I think Well, maybe not. Mark is still looking on the outside there, but now I think they've backed that back up. And now Matt Watkins got a great run there. Wow, did you see that run by Matt on the inside line? He's now side by side for the lead.
Trey kept rolling all night long. The spotter saying number 15 is the leader.
But just by maybe a bumper there from Josh Elliker on the inside line. It looks like Josh now into the lead. That draft really playing a role, Milty. 4 cars against 2.
You see the good grip early on that outside line. Keep it to. They're just breezing that dark patch on the pavement there. You see that outside line. You get up there. Josh Elliker gets up high.
Yeah, he's
but
way
you
up
can
there, Milty.
you can do that in 4, but you can't do that in two. Or you're gonna beat the wall.
And again, a battle.
You're dying, Irene.
Now Jeff Hale leads that lap, but now Matt Watkins has that inside line going into 1. Sean Reap right behind him, helping Mark Descends on the outside. So 2 by 2 in front. Then Dan Jones, Ryan Johnson, Rick Bisconner, Josh Elliker all the way to the back of this pack. Went really high up there. I think he had to get off the gas there just to stay. Oh, and there's contact between Sean and
great
Mark.
save by the 6. Look at that save. The veteran, he goes to the back, but he if he can get on this draft train, but wow. That was tank slapping right there.
Wow, we see Mark.
You're in the car, you're going left, right, left, right, left, right.
You can see
and you're like, I made it through that. I can't believe I did that.
and he may have hung on to the 47's draft here if the 47 can.
Oh, that'll get your sticker to. That'll get your sticker to pecker right there, definitely.
Back up to the front, and the one thing too, Milty, is that was a little bump there with Sean, the 62 car. Sean's he's a very, like you said, a very analytical, conscious driver, and when there's contact like that, that's something that might be something in his head, for a couple of laps here.
Yeah, he's not gonna lay down either. He it was like he did what?
Like the 43 car into the outside wall there as they came out of 2, Milty. We'll have to check that out.
Oh, he got a little bump on 59.
Now Jeff Hale, 62, Sean Reap side by side.
No harm, no foul, no blood.
Dan Jones, Ryan Johnson right there.
Think these guys don't want to win this race or what?
Yeah, nothing's really been settled here. Matt Watkins is our leader, but Sean Reap, Jeff Hale right there. And then a little gap there back to Ryan, Dan Jones, Pops, Josh Elliker. And it looks like Mark did recover, Milty, and he's in this backpack, but he's back up into the main draft. So Bullet dodged by the rocket there. Now let's see if he can gather his car and start picking them off one by one, which is what we've seen him do time and time again.
Looking at P3, Sean Reap, last lap versus best lap, talking about half a second, but they're slicing and dicing.
Yeah, now kind of some single file we see at the front, 1, 2, 3. Then Ryan 4th, all single file, Dan Jones 5th. Then a gap back to Pops, Josh Elliker, Mark Descenza.
Birthday boy wants some here. The 29, Jeff Hale. Who dat? Here he come.
Past the halfway point, lap 43 of 80. Oh, and there's contact
Oh, the
between Mark
car
and
around.
Pops.
Pops hard in the wall.
Looked like Mark and Pops there came together.
Racing back to the line is Matt Watkins by a nose. Don Reap and the 29 were close, but it'd be Watkins, Jeff Hale, Don Reap, Brian Johnson would apparently didn't get much damage there, but that's
Yeah.
two pretty good licks for Pops in the 99 Scotch Blue Ford.
And again, Milty, it looks like a very similar incident.
What we saw in the last wreck, yeah.
If we look at the overhead, we see, Mark looking on the inside there, and Pop's trying to,
Defend, yeah.
And if we see where that black is, Milty, that's generally what we would think of as like the preferred area to drive in. We can see Pops down on the lower part of that, and Mark kind of in that whiter, lighter colored area. So Mark's not going in at the best angle there, and I think he just assumed Pops was going to give him the position there. And when you assume, I think these are the kind of wrecks that happen. And
That makes an ass out of you and me.
yeah, and unfortunately, it really hurt Pop's cars hard into the wall front end. Mark continued, so not a lot of. Doesn't look like it affected Mark's car too badly.
Tough night for Pops.
But and also with FSB, Milty, the nature of the rules here, two incident rule is in effect in this race. If you're Mark DeSenza, is it something to think about now? Was that mine? Was that Pops? And if you
Well, yeah, in the heat of battle, sometimes you miss one.
absolutely,
You're like, I was in that one.
you keep going, and then the
What
next
wreck?
thing you get
That's happened to me. Yeah, I
I
know that.
remember the dreaded Jim Ray email was one you never wanted to see in your inbox, Milty.
Yeah.
I got a
But
couple
that's
of
the way
those
it
in my
goes.
time, and yeah, basically it really is true. You get the email saying, "Hey, you were involved in two incidents and you didn't park it. Can you give us an explanation?" You look at them and say, "Man, I don't even remember that." And
Yep.
yep, that's what happens. So, when you
You're
have
so focused,
when you have such an incident as that, Milty, it's sometimes very difficult to judge. Okay, that was clearly that guy's fault. He spun and then I hit him, or something. There was really nothing there. So if you're Mark DeSenza, I guess the rule of thumb is if you're not sure, count it against you.
Yeah, and that is the in every driver's meeting, you hear that. So, but
Again, something for Mark to have in his head, along with, I'm sure, being a little frustrated here. The contact with Sean Reap too. I'm sure on his mind as well. That sent him up almost into the wall. Great save. Lost a ton of track position though. Then was working his way back up, and then had the contact with Pop. So, Mark DeSenza having a full night so far, Milty.
that's racing. I'll be right back. Sponsored by Budweiser, the king of beers.
Well, we got the lights still on the pace car, so we'll at least go down one more time. Bringing up our scoring here, Milty, lap 46. as you were saying, about 32, 36 laps, let's say. So we're right on the beginning of the window here, I believe. So is another top up here for some of these guys, and then maybe stay out the rest of the race, or um, boy, we always were thinking there was going to be a green run. Are we in for our green run to the finish? Lights are out now, so if you topped up here, man, you're right on the edge of fuel, I think. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, you're right in the fuel window here as we get ready to go green.
Yeah, something to think about. 34 laps to go when we take green, Milty. Um,
We seen we seen races this year with three green flag, 2 or 3 green flag stops, and let's see what happens here. Depends on damaged cars here. He's still got a few damaged cars here that could get loose on them real quick, but they're still fighting for positions and points.
yeah, so this top four, Milty, has been very clean this race. No damage to any of these cars, and I still like any of these 4 cars for a win. We've
Well,
seen
these
that this
guys are.
draft
Oh,
really,
sorry.
can't get away from the field really with this draft.
Well, they've all raced Matt. He's been here for years, but he took some time off and races sporadically. So, but these guys are still like when when he shows up, he's the guy to beat, and he's the guy you want to beat. And how do these guys deal with that, along with what their points implications are? It's kind of like Kyle Busch showing up for an Xfinity race. His points don't count, but he's here to win the race, and we're definitely not going to boo him like they do Kyle.
No, Matt Watkins, of course, a big fan favorite.
He's one of my favorites. Built this rig that I'm sitting here broadcasting on. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have this awesome piece.
Yeah, absolutely. He's more than just a sim racer. Very successful in his business ventures as well, which is one of the reasons he kind of had to step away.
Yeah, he got real life to do.
Yeah, I believe he was able to find a job that he's been really looking to get. And
Yeah, absolutely.
And he said he's not letting that opportunity pass him by, and you can see now.
That's just like me, I mean, throw a shout out to my boys if I say Tile. The best job I've ever had, I mean, but I don't get to race very much, Is what it is. Life first, racing second.
We all make our sacrifices and decisions when we can and can't do it, and you got to stick to your guns, and so you got to take care of business first, and then fun second. And right now, Jeff Hale's having fun. He's in the lead. Josh Ellicker's second. Matt Watkins has dropped back. I think he's thinking fuel run here, maybe tire management, possibly.
I think the 59 is too, Ryan. Plus, he might have a little damage when he got him and the son got into it there, and we'll have to see. But he basically let them guys by. Dan Jones still strong, just pacing though. That's why he's the King of the Hill champion.
Yeah, and there he is.
beat me by 2 points.
There he is. He's right where he needs to be. As we're on lap 52 of 80.
He reminds me a lot of myself, just because of how his style is, and he's a finisher here, and he's gonna wait to see what happens here, and so are we.
You know, we're a familiar scene with Jeff Hale in the lead. Josh chasing him down. Sean right there in third. 1, 2, 3. Then a little space back to Dan in fourth. Ryan fifth. Matt sixth. All within 1 second of the lead here, so it's not like Matt's lost a ton of ground, Milty. He's only 0.8 of a second off the lead.
The way I got to figure right now, they're a little bit short on fuel, and this smells green, so this is going to be some decision time
And
for these guys. What they're going to do? They're going to split it in half, or to run it out.
Yeah, one thing we know about a drafting track like this, Milty, is the guy in the lead sometimes suffers in fuel mileage, where second, third, fourth guys can maybe get off the throttle a little more, clutches maybe a little more.
Absolutely.
And be able to
you save fuel.
time. So we'll see if Jeff Hale can manage this from the lead.
He's just such a great charger at the start, and tire manager, and he's a leader. And one thing he does have is that air on the nose here. The other guys are going disturbed air. Let's go back and do a little in-car here again. We got interrupted. If we're going to talk about what a lap is like here at Michigan.
Yeah, Milty, one thing we see is Josh Elliker just ran his fastest lap of the race right now. So more than halfway through, Josh Elliker, fastest lap.
175 miles an hour into the corner. No brake, you're lefting. You're not using brake unless you come up on somebody too hard. You got to breeze the brake, but otherwise you're looking at the marker on your right, probably that light, second light, outside in. These cars you can almost drive flat out, especially in qualifying. Down the back straight, right up against the wall. Check your mirrors, that's where you get a chance to be crew chief, is on the straightaways. But you gotta hit your marks back down. At various exits here in California, coming out of turn 4, turn 2 is, you have to be disciplined because that can bite you big time. Outside in, way in the gray, and arcing that corner, right down to the line. Coming out, he's putting some pressure on Jeff.
Having some speed, almost 187 miles an hour.
You can't see your bumper, but you learn visual acuities here. So when you see his tail lights and his wing go past your dashboard, you know you're really close. Right now you're still about 6-8 feet away. You learn these things over time. Especially driving cockpit, which, in this league there are options. You can drive rough cam, other cams, but, this homeboy drives cockpit. Right there, you're still about 6-8 feet away. Once you get up close there and you start to see that spoiler, 4 or 3, they can't see, they don't know. Except for that, training yourself to understand that car language.
And all right, number 62 in third place, Sean Reed, looking at him. Josh Elliker, who just riding wet. Jeff Hale, our leader. Sean looks to that inside on him.
You're watching their lines, seeing what they're doing. Every corner sets up the next corner and the straightaway, so it's a car language. Guy makes a mistake, that's all you need. If they don't, you kind of have to ride the line. Maybe back up the corner a little bit from the last lap. Okay, he hit that marker right there in your mind. So the next time you might want to back it up just there and then pick it up. With the draft so dependent, it's not as easy to do it by yourself. You need some help. Also, you got to think about splitting this up in the pit stops here. What you going to do? While you're going on the straightaway, you got to drive this thing, 700 horsepower beast, and you also got to think about when am I going to pit? You got your teammates in your head, you know. There's a lot going on.
So inside 20 laps remaining, so definitely any time now you're gonna stop, you can certainly do it.
Yeah, I don't think they can make it anyway, but you know, going all the way. Of course, we've been wrong almost like every broadcast this year. So.
That the cars behind Sean have really tightened it up. Dan Jones and Ryan Johnson. Now we're riding with Dan, the 007. You see really slicing and dicing with Ryan there on the inside. That outside line really carry the momentum. You see sometimes that inside line you gotta get pinched off just a bit there.
Vaughn, James Vaughn. Canadian is really showing today here and looking for a win here, and we know what he can do.
And he just caught the draft of the 62, so he's able to really pull himself down.
You see that pull? Absolutely, yeah. He sucked up there like an octopus.
Yeah, you see Ryan right behind him. Now Watkins lurking in the weeds back there still, Milty.
62 trying to highline. I think he overdrove that corner.
Oh,
and we got pit stops.
So our top two, Jeff Hale, Josh
they're splitting it in half.
In the pit.
Look at that lap times. Yeah, last lap for Dan Jones is only 3/10 off his fastest lap, so maybe I'll run a few more and hope Acosta comes out, or the field is thinned. We got to get in. Let's see what they do.
4 tire changes for both Jeff Hale, Josh Elliker.
And they stay out. Matt Watkins on the inside of Dan Jones, and they still stay out.
We see Jeff and Josh are out of the pits and back on their way.
There's more IQ in these 3 cars here that I could have in a lifetime, so see what they're going to do.
Ryan
Looking
Johnson
at the scanner, nothing.
Now Sean Reeb, Dan Jones, Matt Watkins.
They're going to stay out. Last lap, 39.8. Best lap, 39.3. So they're starting to get in that area where you might want to think about pitting.
Yeah, I think if I'm Sean, I got to come in the next lap. I got to come in right now.
Taking a look at the scanner. Nothing.
Over a half a second, Milty. You're going to only get slower.
We're hearing nothing.
Unless I can make it the rest of the way, then I am just going to do what I got to do, I guess.
They're not saving fuel, so.
And not pitting. We're on lap 66 of 80.
Well, I was looking at about 34 laps for them to finish And like we said in the pre-race, you can't make it here.
So our top 4 cars have not
Close to
pitted,
that.
and they're all together. Rick Biscano's
I
doing
still
a great
think
job, Milty.
they need to stop. I still think they don't have enough fuel.
This 43 car's just hung on and hung on and hung on all race. He's been kind of in the back part of a top 10, and now he's hung on to this 4-car group that has decided not to pit. Lap 68 of 80. What will these 4 do, Milty?
Last lap for Dan Jones, 39.7.
Yeah, Matt Watkins also a 39.71. Best a 39.3, so about a 4/10. Not too bad, Milty, and that's what maybe they're thinking, is that they're gonna.
Well, they're in the draft with each other, so that's huge. They got to go together. These other guys have pitted. They're kind of straggling. So back to the 59 of Ryan Johnson. He's got buddies. This could mean something here. 39.4, close to best lap that he's had, and that, that's close to qualifying lap. So these guys with fresh tires have definitely stepped it up. They're beating the cars that are stayed out by half a second.
Yeah, there's 11 laps to go here. Sean Reed, Matt Watkins, Dan Jones, Rick Biscano are our top 4.
They wouldn't have pitted if they couldn't make it. It would have been not a good move, So these guys gotta stop. Here we go.
In.
Box.
It looks like 62 and
Oh.
007 coming in. And Rick Biscano. So 3 cars in. Lap 70. So 10 to go.
Q's in the pits for the 007. He comes in hard. Nice stop. All 3 of them.
Yeah, everyone's in safely. Now let's hit their marks in their pit. All 3 have done that.
Come on. Get some.
Matt Watkins now the lone driver.
Get my darn tires on. Let's go.
And a
Matt
problem
Watkins down pit road.
43.
Matt Watkins down by himself. Problem for the 33, yep.
43 car had problems with the lugs going on.
43.
And that might end his night. Matt Watkins slowly coming down pit lane all by his lonesome. Is he going to take 4, Milty, or is he going to do 2?
2. Get 2.
No,
2 tires
he's doing
on.
4. No, he's doing 2. He's just fueling it. Just putting in the fuel. And away he goes.
Go. Come on.
And he's out.
Well, that's a lot of fuel for 8 laps.
And here comes... And
He's the man, so he know.
Oh, and he got loose coming out of pit lane. He had to get on the brakes there, and that's going to cost him dearly. 62 around him, the 007 around him. So it looks like a 2-car race between Sean and Dan.
Sean Reap again. And Dan. James Bond.
Wow, this is going to be a classic 2-car duel, Milty, with about 7 laps to go.
Well, like in From Russia to Love, says, could you make love to me again, James? Not right now. I have business to attend to. I'll get back to you. And right now, he's got business. how do you figure that stuff out? I mean, we're sitting here psychoanalyzing this stuff, and we don't know. We're just talking heads.
Yeah, and we're checking Jeff Hale's
Get some.
progress,
Come on.
Milty, over 8 seconds behind here.
Wow, they just killed him. I mean, you were talking half a second lap time. So what happened? Obviously pit stops. You expect the 15 to really shine in this area, and
yeah, he
didn't get it done, man.
Yeah,
Shows you how hard it is.
yeah, it seemed like
And he's the winningest driver of all time here.
Yeah, it looked like maybe selected the wrong fuel, and when he
That's
came
what
out of
I
the
saw.
pits, the car got a
It
little
was
out of
way
sync as
too
well.
long. Yeah. Yep.
So now it's down to really 2 cars. Ryan Johnson, third place car, over 4.8 seconds back. 6
John
laps
Reap
to
is
go.
a humble guy. He's just like, but he's smart, analytical, and he's just this season. I mean, we obviously thought he was a threat for the championship, but see how he's just managed these races, and a lot of times it's just pull a rabbit out of the hat, dude. I'm telling you. I mean, you got to go with your gut and go with the flow, and so many factors involved: draft partners and execution. I mean, he's just has nailed pit stops all year long, and
Yeah, he sure has.
but and without mistakes, and that is so hard to do. I spent a whole year off when I was running, stock cars seriously in sim racing. Just work. I didn't even run laps. I just worked on pit stops because that was. It's I mean you always got to work on your game, and man, he just nailed it. But he got the British Empire and the of course 007 Dan Jones is from Canada, and
4 laps to go. They're 1-2, going back to the pack here, Milton.
can he do anything here with the air in the nose on the 62? And we didn't see if they got 2 tires or no tires, but they definitely got track position.
And we're gonna have a battle for the 3rd place position here, Milty. 59, 29,
who's gonna
47 are all
Who's
there.
going to get in the boot here?
All 4 cars are right there battling for 3rd. Ryan had it, but it looks like now Jeff, Rick, and Josh are going to reel him in. And we got a 4-car battle here. And 3 wide, Milty.
Look at that! Oh my
3
gosh!
wide here.
Wow! Josh Elliker on the outside.
Wow, that's not something you see very often here in Michigan.
We see it in turn 4, but if you see it in turn 2, it's going to be bad. And you see him get double wide turn 2. That's not going to happen. Are these guys badass or what? I mean, gotta take a clap here, and this ain't easy, folks.
Sean Reap looks now to be in control.
He has pulled away, 6-7 car lengths, and but this will be, if he can make it happen, this will be a great finish for the 007.
Yeah, great finish.
Get on the podium. We know what he can do, but Friday nights, like racing is, this ain't easy. If it was easy, you would be playing tiddlywinks or going out and partying with your friends. Instead, these guys show up and suit up, and
62 will take that checkered flag. 007
John
second.
Reap, 2
Dan
wins in a
Jones.
row.
And the 29 car, I believe, of Jeff Hale will take that third position. Ryan fourth, Josh Elliker fifth, Rick Bisconnor sixth, all within just a couple tenths of each other.
Matt Watkins retired. Obviously, that.
Yeah, with the win or go home mentality that Matt brings into these races.
That's cool. I mean, it's. But obviously, he'll be disappointed knowing him.
But the
That's how it
62
goes.
will not be disappointed because he's our race winner.
I'm seeing a Polish victory lap coming up here. Just saying, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think you're correct, and I think we're seeing it as we speak. And of course, the folks at Michigan would definitely appreciate the Polish victory lap with Alan Kulwicki. I think having some success there.
Wow, another heck of a race there.
Yeah, just like you said, he's a technical guy. He ran a technically clean race. The pit stops were all perfect. The last one was exactly what he needed to do. Came out with Dan. He made it a 2-car race, and then he just pulled away there at the end. The car was really good, Milty, all race for the 62 car. Started on the outside pole. Really just never looked back.
Yeah, qualified up front and stayed right in the mix the whole time. And then it was when it was money time. Separates the men from the boys is those pit stops and strategy and figuring that stuff on the fly, doing the math while you're driving is tough,
Absolutely.
They have teammates and
There's our finishing order.
the boss of the league on the Twitch, FSB Smokey. What's up, man? Great show. Thanks, boss.
And we'll see, Milty will gather up our top 3, Sean, Dan, and Jeff Hale. Have a little chat with them real quick, and then send everyone off onto their weekend. And a little choppy race there to begin with, but a good battle there between Sean and Dan. We saw some really hard racing amongst the field, really from the drop of the green flag, and it claimed a lot of victims early on, and the survivors put on a pretty good show there at the end, and Sean just did everything you need to do to win a race, and a well-earned victory for Sean. And we'll chat with him in a bit, and big point gain as well for the 62 car, so he'll be happy with that as well, I'm sure. So Milty out to gather up our top 3, and we'll take a little break here until we get joined by them.
Right.
All right, so our looks like our top 2 has climbed out of the cars, and maybe a little sip of champagne there for the 62, and Sean, man, a pretty clean race from the carnage early on. Kept the car clean, hit your marks on those pit stops. Pretty solid race through and through, I would say.
Thank you. I made one little mistake.
Yeah, a little spin there.
No, I didn't spin. I missed my pit stall on one of the yellow flag stops, and got me back in the field. And then there was a big pile up in front of me that I narrowly avoided, and just picked my way back up there. just followed guys, kept the car, like I said, kept the car clean, and then it came down to that stop when Josh and Jeff stopped before us, and this big pack stayed out. Like 4 or 5 cars, and those 2 were on their own. I knew we were gonna gain ground on them. I didn't realize that Josh had spun coming out, so that helped us gain. And then they took 4, we took 2, and so I guess Watkins only took 4 too, because he sent me something like, "Wow, how'd you make such a fast stop?" So the 2-tire stop, Dan nailed his stop too, so I had a teammate with me, and it was just cruise control from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we saw him take 2, but a lot of fuel, and that the car was just waiting.
Really, it was a can of fuel for me.
Yeah, I think he just missed that one, and
Yeah,
that was the difference. That's for sure.
absolutely. So, obviously, with the teammates 1-2 there, and with the gap, Dan, did you have a car to win the race, or were you content there on just getting a solid finish there?
A solid finish was on him. I didn't have anything for him.
All right, well, there we go, Milty.
Well, Q was definitely in the pits tonight, and
I had a little damage early on with the accident. So.
yeah, and the car was still good though. But that's great for you because you've had some bad luck, and great to see you on the podium.
Always good to
because you got skills, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's on the victory lane page twice for the Cup Series and the Truck Series, but he's had no Friday night luck, so it's good to get my teammate up here. He's
absolutely.
He's a pro.
King of the Hill champion, Duke and roll.
Yeah, absolutely, and maybe a slightly unfamiliar position for the 29 car, Milty. Jeff Hale finishing 3rd, back about 6 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, birthday boy,
happy birthday.
Still on the podium for happy birthday, Jeff.
Maybe a little extra cake there in the pits, cost him some time, but the decision to pit earlier on that last run, Jeff, what was the decision in there?
Yeah, I think 4 tires was better to split that last run in half.
That's what I was thinking, but
I'd rather have 4 tires with 17 to go than 2 tires with 9. It's just, I think Josh had a little problems getting out, spun, and so I was out, left all alone, and I almost caught that pack when they went by, but had Josh with me, I think we'd been all right. But good win to Sean. I'm glad to be back up here in this booth. I'll spread the cake around with you guys, and good run by Dan also, and hate to see it from my teammates, Slim and Isaac. Had a rough night, but we'll be back next
rough
week.
night.
Yeah, Slim.
Yeah.
Just plumb let go there, and maybe a little talk to the engine shop there, Jeff. Slim's engine didn't really hold.
Well, now I know where my guys went.
Didn't really hold up tonight.
They weren't snapping into a Slim Jim.
No, they weren't. But, that's some of the aspects here of the sim racing. Could have the best car in the field, but it can still blow up on you. And certainly Slim, as he said, no warning, and car went around, and that was all she wrote for that. But solid win for Sean.
Thank you, sir.
Point implications here as well with Ken Shea missing a race. So definite scramble on the points.
Well, Ken missed it. Slim blew up.
Yeah.
And so Helget's had a good point tonight with that 3rd, probably the most laps led.
Well, after Tuesday, I'm going on like a 10-day vacation, so I'm going to miss a few races here coming up. So I'm not really running for points this season anyway. I'm just here to spoil the party.
Well, you were 11 points back coming in tonight. So you were definitely in the chase.
I'd love to live your life because every year we talk about this about the same time of the season. You're going on some awesome vacation, and I'm happy for you, but at the same time, I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, so definitely we'll be able to recap those points come next race. And again, Sean, great win, Michigan.
Thank you, sir.
Always good to win in the backyard of all the manufacturers. Of course, Pontiac is not really around anymore.
Dearly departed Pontiac.
No, we'll pretend that this was back then.
Hey, my dad was the first guy to win a Trans Am race in a Pontiac. So
Nice, Trans Am and a Trans Am.
Way to do it. So, great win, Sean. Dan, again, great finish. Good to see you up here. Jeff, as always.
Points are up if you want to take a look, or
yeah, we can see if we can do that.
race 8 in the books.
Thanks again for the broadcast, you guys. Awesome job.
Yeah, thanks. Love having you guys do that, and great run, Dan and Jeff. You guys were on it. You gotta be on your toes in this league.
Yeah, good win, Sean, and good plan at the end, taking 2 and running our laps out on the other tires.
Yep.
All right.
Good job.
So getting these points up. There we go. And we will see when we look at that Sean has a 15-point lead over Jeff Hale, 22 over Slim, and 32 over Ryan Johnson, who jumped up 2 positions in the 4th. Rick 5th, just a couple points off. So.
Well, Ken Shea back to 7th from P2 when missing the race. It hurts you.
Absolutely, it does. No. So again, we'll probably see another scramble coming up. As Jeff said, he may be missing a race here coming up. So still a lot of people alive here.
That's life. That's life. Life first, racing second. Yeah.
It's a much needed vacation, so I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, man.
All right, guys. So there's our point standings, and still a lot to race for. We see some tight battles there all through the top 10, and of course top 3 get some hardware. So still something to race for, even if the point numbers start changing. We see only 10 points.
Trophies are cool.
Only 7 points second to third. So still some tight stuff there. And we'll.
All right, great job, guys.
Yeah,
good night. And
next race coming up at Dover, and
we'll, the monster.
Do our best to
the Monster Mile.
As many races as we can. So.
Is Rick Johnson going to show up for that?
Never know.
I don't know.
Just put his name on the chair now if he does.
Well, he lives right there, so.
Yeah. We'll see. We never know who's going to show up week to week here at FSB. So.
Well, I tried to say that nickname should be Concrete Johnson, but you guys said that sounded like an entirely different kind of name.
Yeah,
so.
That might not be family friendly. But appreciate the suggestion. And that's going to wrap it up. Milty, as always, pleasure doing business with you, and we'll catch you on the next one. FSBRacing.com.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Thanks. Bye.